I'm Lindsey Donald, and we are All For You Farms. We milk dairy sheep. We tried 3 different models. One was a Rovibec. Out of the 3, we chose it because the first model threw a lot of feed over the top, which we didn't like at all. The second model had a lot of dead spots, was inconsistent in its mixing. The Rovibec showed us that consistent mixing, and the ewes loved the feed that came out of it. With the first mixer we tested, we found that the length of time in chopping was longer. It threw a lot of the feed up over the top of the sides of the mixer onto the ground, which we did not like. The second mixer that we tried, it very inconsistent, a lot of dead spots in the mixing, a lot of inconsistency in the chopping of the feed. Then we tested the Rovibec, and we found that it was pretty well perfect as far as chopping, consistency, and the animals loved the feed that came out of it. The first mixer we tested, as far as tractor power went, the tractor shook very much, and it actually got warm in the mixing process. The second one, we still found out that the tractor had a lot of movement to it. Maybe it didn't get as warm, but it had a lot of movement to the tractor, made the tractor work very hard. The Rovibec was very easy on the tractor, very smooth mixing. Tractor had no problems at all. Even at the starting process, putting the wet bale in, dry bale in, it had no problem starting up and mixing. There was no inconsistency in the tractor whatsoever. The tractor is 85 horse. Out of the 3 mixers that we tried, the Rovibec, we found out that the ewes feeding was much nicer. They ate most of the feed, if not all the feed during their feeding. We had very little waste. We threw about 3/4 of wheelbarrow load maybe on this one out of a day. And the other 2 we were taking out pretty close to 2 wheelbarrow loads anyways. And that might have been just, I forget how many we did take out, but there's a lot of refusal as far as mixing went on the other 2. We were feeding just straight dry hay, long, and he was just forking it and putting it in front of them. And they weren't content. You could fill them up, sort of, but not to what this would fill them up. It's just a complete turnaround in the animal as far as what they're doing. But we did see a significant difference in the amount of milk that they're giving. There has been a big we were both surprised, but there has been a big change in what they're producing. Like, this is the time of year where we use, like right now we're using natural breeding season. So as they start to dry off, they're rebred in natural time. So the ones they're milking now have been milking since April. So they're starting to dry off. But we did see tighter udders and a little bit more milk coming out of them last 2 milkings since we started using this. As I told the one guy who was in here with one of your competition, he wanted to know about liking it, and I say it's not up to me to like it. I say it's what the girls do in the barn. They tell me if they like it or not. If they don't eat it, it's no good to me. So if they eat the feed that comes out of it, that tells me that the mixer's doing the job. And that's what we went by. A lot of it was what they told us, and that's kind of the way we went on it. That was because I could have went out and bought anything, cheapest one around, and said, yeah, okay, because price-wise this was the cheapest, I'm going to use it. But if they didn't eat it, there's no sense me having it. No, I'd recommend anyone to try one of these. I'd recommend anyone to give one of these a shot. I don't care if you got beef cattle, to goats, to dairy cows, to give them a shot, because I think they're well worth it. He talked me into one day, he said, Dad, try them. He said, it doesn't cost you anything to try. Yeah, it did. It cost it did cost me to try, but